Welcome back to the Project Gen X podcast. I'm one of your hosts, Alan Smith, along with...
I'm the other guy, Big Dave.
And this episode is going to be the kickoff of our John Hughes retrospective.
Were we supposed to watch movies?
Yeah, we're going to start this one off with 16 Candles, which was out in, 1984? Is that correct?
That is correct.
Do you have the pulled up there?
I do. What do you want, like the summary?
No, just give us a rundown of who's in this movie.
Who is in this movie? Okay. Well, you've got Molly Ringwald. You've got Michael Schofling, I guess, as Jake Ryan. Anthony Michael Hall. Haviland Morris as Caroline Mumford. Getty Watanabe as Long Duck Dong. Paul Dooley as Jim Baker. Carolyn Glenn as Brenda Baker. Blanche Baker as Jenny Baker. Hit a Baker, play a Baker. Justin Henry as Mike Baker. This is all the Molly Ringwald family.
Yeah.
Edward Andrews as Grandpa Howard. Billy Bird as Grandma Dorothy. Carol Cook as Grandma Helen. Max Showalter as Grandpa Fred. Lyon Curtis as Randy. John Cusack, a very young John Cusack, as Bryce.
As well as Joan Cusack.
Yeah, a very young Joan Cusack, which I don't think we've ever... they might be the same person. Who knows? Darren Harris as Cliff Weese. Deborah Pollock as Marlene, the lumberjack. Joan Cusack as Geek Girl. Brian Doyle Murray as the Reverend at the wedding. Jamie Getz as Robin. Tony Longo as Rock. John Calabos as Rudy Rizik. And Zelda Rubinstein as the organist, who you know from Poltergeist.
Yeah, and Jamie Gertz was in that. She had you read her name. You read her name off.
Okay.
Yeah, she was one of the friends.
Yeah.
Which I was one of those things I would watch. I was like, oh, I forgot Jamie Gertz was in this. Of course, famous for Less Than Zero and Lost Boys, as well as other stuff.
What are you taking notes on over?
Oh, sorry, I was writing down something.
Yeah.
I had not seen this movie in
a very, very long time.
Yes. Do you have a summary there? I know we're kind of getting off to a slow start here because I'll be honest. I watched this movie, and then I guess a couple of weeks ago, because we had an ice storm
we've had a major ice storm
since we recorded the previous episode, and where we're sitting here doing this now.
Yeah,
and so it was like, all right, well, we were without power, and so it was one of those that when we decided to go ahead, we finally got back to where we could do this again. It's like, oh, I'll go back and rewatch it, and I didn't rewatch it so much as I kind of did a speed run through it.
Yeah.
And just to kind of like, oh yeah, that's right. That's right.
Well, as kind of a reminder for you, 16 Candles is a 1984 American coming-of-age teen comedy film starring Molly Ringwald, Michael Schoenfler, and Anthony Michael Hall, written and directed by John Hughes in his directorial debut. It was the first in a string of films Hughes would direct centering on teenage life. The film follows newly 16-year-old Samantha Baker, Ringwald, who deals with a seemingly unrequited crush on high school senior Jake Ryan, while also being pursued by freshman Farmer Ted, the geek.
Yeah. Anthony Michael Hall in this movie.
Farmer Ted.
All right. How old were you when you saw this movie the first time?
I don't even remember.
I know. So I know that I did not see it when I was 10 when this came out.
Yeah.
It was later.
Might have been in junior high.
Yeah, probably. It would have been in the late 80s.
It would have been a VHS rental.
Yeah, it was definitely... honestly, I think the first time I saw it was when it was on television.
Oh, USA Up All Night?
Yeah, one of those. Or
a TBS.
TBS, one of the... Yeah. And I know that my mom liked this movie.
Yeah.
And so it is...
This movie was back when the extras were ugly and dressed poorly like the rest of us.
Mm-hmm. This movie did not age well.
That's any of them?
We'll get into that.
Okay.
And when I say it didn't age well, I mean it more for the... Sometimes you go back and watch movies from when you were young that you loved, and they just don't hold up the same way.
No.
And the problem with this movie is that it doesn't feel so much like a movie as it does a bunch of vignettes.
Yeah.
That there's kind of
but Hughes was kind of writing that way if you go back and look at some of his other stuff.
And we'll get into that when we get into other stuff. Like the Farmer Ted.
Yeah.
You know, his first scene on the bus, I thought was hilarious.
Yeah.
With all of that. And then, of course, you've got Joan Cusack sitting right next to them.
Joan.
I said Joan, did I?
You said John.
Well, you got Joan Cusack sitting right
They're
next to them.
the same person.
Yeah. Sitting right next to them. And she's kind of reacting to what's going on over there.
Well, she's trying to flirt with Farmer Ted.
Is she?
It kind of looks that way.
I don't know. I think she's just kind of like watching what's going on and just kind of scoffing at the whole situation, you know. And rightfully so. You know, that's the whole the whole I got to give the kid props for trying.
Oh, he's definitely got the confidence.
He is definitely swinging above his weight class.
Yeah.
And good for him. I mean, that is a whole, misguided, but he's got the confidence, you know.
You only miss the shot you don't take.
Exactly. And it is in going back. I'm sorry. I'm trying to figure out what exactly I want to say about this.
I'll say because this is not. You can tell like this is his first directorial because it doesn't have the cohesiveness.
It's not exactly. It is very disjointed.
It's like he's trying to figure out how to do this thing.
And there is a couple of things. Okay, so toward the end of the movie. Okay.
Yeah.
So when after the party and all that kind of stuff, and Ted is taking what's her name, his Jake's girlfriend. Oh. Yeah, he drives off in the car with her
in the Rolls Royce.
Yeah,
I don't remember.
And then Long Duck Dong, he hears him and he jumps down out of a tree. Okay. Yeah. The next time we see Dong. He's funny. He's laying in front of the house of Molly Ringwald's parents' house.
Yeah.
Okay. And then when he sees Jake, he says something about "you hit me."
Yeah.
Or he goes inside. He opens the door and he's like, "Oh no, you hit me!" And
wait. Okay, so Long Duck Dong is passed out. I mean, 3 sheets to the wind on the front porch. And the grandparents get him in the house before the wedding. Before the wedding. And evidently there has been enough time passed that he has now
he's
woken up. He's got an ice pack on his head.
Right.
He's trying.
And Jake Ryan comes to the house.
Looking for Sam.
Right.
And the second he opens the door, he's like, "No, you hit me."
Right. We never saw that. It's like there's stuff missing here. And I even had gotten a hold of what was supposed to be an extended version of it.
That was the one I watched.
Yeah, there was nothing different between it and the regular version.
No, not really.
At all. Like I was like, well, maybe this has got extra scenes in it that, no. And so there's several things like that. Like from the point that Ted goes and finds his friends and he's in the car, he wants to take the pictures.
Yeah.
And then the next time we see them, they are asleep. They're waking up.
They're passed out in the back of the Rolls Royce.
Right.
In the parking lot across from the church.
Right. And so, but then they wake up and then they're talking about something may have happened. But again, there's no indication of any of that.
Yeah.
Like it's this weird, it's very disjointed of a scene could have.
It's leaving a lot to the imagination.
It really is
through storytelling.
It really is, and I know we're not really talking about the movie, and we're going to talk about the movie. Get into. I'm kind of wanting to get this stuff out of the way up front.
Okay.
Of this is the problems I have with it. There are other problems with this movie that I'm sure other people don't like a whole lot.
Yeah.
But it is what it is. It's of this time,
It's an okay movie. It's not one of my favorite John Hughes.
Again, it's one of those things they call people retards and faggots and whatever, and it's like, that you're going to get that in old movies, that's just the way it is. Take it for what it is, okay? But my biggest gripe that I have with the movie is that it's just so disjointed. Like, again, it's kind of like, and one of the things I do like about it, it's only an hour and 34 minutes or something like that. I love movies that are like an hour and a half and out, as long as they're
cohesive,
well made. Yeah, exactly. They're cohesive, and again, not bad for a directorial debut. He had written. We established that he had written some stuff. He had written.
So basically,
Vacation and European Vacation, a few things like that previously. But
we had argued that Christmas Vacation was going to be on this list, and the problems you have with this movie are going to be exactly the same problems you have with Christmas Vacation. Because Christmas Vacation is just one vignette after the other.
But when we get there, we'll talk about it.
Okay. Actually, what the best part about this movie is actually the music that gets played in the movie.
This has got a really good soundtrack.
No, it does not have a good soundtrack. The official soundtrack is literally 5 songs. It was a mini release.
That's right. We talked about this
The music that is actually in the movie, that gets played in the movie, does not show up on any soundtrack anywhere.
Right. And I think we talked about this, I think, on our soundtrack episode, about how it was a mini thing, and it was one of those things that it did not get a release until like the early 2000s or something like that. And it was a mini release, if I'm not mistaken.
No, it was this was released in '84. The 5-song EP soundtrack for this movie was released in '84. It was released on MCA.
Okay.
On side 1, you have the Stray Cats, 16 Candles. You've got Annie Golden with Hang Up the Phone. You've got Ira Newborn and the Geeks with Geek Boogie.
Okay.
On side 2, you have Gloria from Patti Smith, and you have If You Were Here by the Thompson Twins.
Okay.
That's the only 5 songs on the mini. They call it a mini album.
And of course, there are other songs like Rebel Yell appears in the movie.
I have the list.
Okay.
You have Snowballed by AC/DC.
Okay.
Today I Meet the Boy I'm Gonna Marry by Darlene Love. Love of the Common People by Paul Young. Kaja Gugu by Kaja Gugu.
Yeah.
Happy Birthday by Altered Images. Mm-hmm. The Dragnet Theme by Ray Anthony and his orchestra. You have Rumors in the Air by Night Ranger.
Okay.
Peter Gunn by Ray Anthony and his orchestra.
Yeah, I knew that one too.
True from Spandau Ballet. Wild Sex in the Working Class by Oingo Boingo.
Okay. Makes sense.
Little Bitch from the Specials. Growing Pains from Tim Finn. When It Started to Begin with Nick Hayward. Lenny from Stevie Ray Vaughan. Whistle Down the Wind from Nick Hayward. Ring Me Up from the Divinals. Theme song from The Godfather. Mm-hmm. Turning Japanese by the Vapors.
Yep.
Rev Up by the Revillos. Farmer John from the Premiers. Young Guns Go For It from Wham. Rebel Yell from Billy Idol. Young Americans from David Bowie.
Right.
And Tenderness from General Public.
Yes.
Those were the songs that were in the movie that did not make
the soundtrack.
Yeah, which is a shame because it's
some of the I know, and there is like when they're at the dance where they're playing True, that's pretty, and of course Rebel Yell whenever he's driving the car, and it's funny is that there were some other songs that was playing that I thought were other songs, like I was like, oh, and then it turns out to not be, and I was like, oh, okay, very much a time capsule of 1984, all of that. Yeah. And I'm here for it. I Spandau Ballet's True is a great song. I know it's... Why don't you look at me like that?
Okay.
Look, it's a great 80s song. It really is. I mean, it's like... when you talk about an 80s song, 80s one-hit wonder, it's one of them that, it's going to be in that probably top 20 or so, that you start talking about them.
Yeah.
I'm not going, as far as to say they were a good band or anything. I'm just like, no, that song... capture a time in a moment. Would definitely listen to that while I was driving around Vice City and GTA. It's but it's just kind of one of those. It is what it is. And let's talk about the plot of this thing.
Go ahead.
So Sam, it's her 16th birthday, but her sister is also getting married this same weekend.
Yep.
And everybody's coming into town, and they're trying to. The parents are running around trying to get everything together for this wedding because the in-laws are coming in and they have not met the in-laws yet, I don't think.
They were meeting the in-laws for dinner.
That's right.
Before the wedding.
Right. And so they're all worried about that.
And here's a familiar theme. Both sets of grandparents staying in the same house. With the whole family.
Right. They forget that it's her birthday. Yep. And everybody forgets that it's her birthday. You know, she's got a bratty little brother and there's a little sister also.
No, there's two little sisters.
Is there two little sisters?
I think.
I don't know. I know.
No, maybe
there's an older sister, and then there's her, and then I think there's a little brother and a little sister.
Yeah, there's like four kids total.
Yeah. And yeah, the little brother is just like a pain in the ass from moment one, pretty much. But he's also kind of funny, so it's like I can forgive it.
He's funny and he knows it.
Yes, pretty much. And the older sister is a serious brat. Like she, you know, there is a later on when her dad.
The word for her is vapid.
Right.
She's very vapid.
Yes.
Self-centered.
Yes, very much so.
And ditzy.
And that's when later on, whenever her dad finally comes around and says, "Hey, I'm sorry we forgot about your birthday."
Yeah.
And something is said about the older sister. Oh, because you know he's talking about a boy, you know, like her and Jake Ryan, you know, this kind of stuff. Which is funny. You always have to say Jake Ryan. You can't just say Jake. It's got to be Jake Ryan. So I think that's the only way they really refer to him in the movie. Even I mean, I think they do say Jake a couple times, but usually it's Jake Ryan.
It's Jack's older brother.
Yeah. So
for you Tom Clancy fans.
Yeah. Well, actually, I guess it would be his younger brother.
Yeah, maybe.
Yeah, because you think about like Clear and Present Danger came out 90, 91, something like that in there.
Probably. So, yeah.
I mean the movie. Anyway, so he says something to her. Her dad says something to her about. I'm trying to remember the exact quote. She says something about what's the sister's name again? The older sister.
Hold on.
Anyways, says something about how, you know, she would never let this go, or you know, if the guy liked her, then she would just go for it, or
Jenny
whatever.
Baker.
Jenny, yeah. And so, and he says something like, "Hey, you know, when things come easy for people, they don't appreciate that. It doesn't last. They don't appreciate it, you know." And it's like, it's nice that the dad recognizes the difference between his daughters.
Yeah.
So that's kind of nice. They go, of course.
Yeah, he's like, I'm not worried about you.
I'm not worried about
her. I got to worry.
Her, I got to worry about. But you know, and he even not real a big fan of his soon-to-be son-in-law. It seems, especially after their dinner, and he's kind of a jerk, you know. And,
well, I'm pretty much sure that family is mobbed up.
Oh yeah, absolutely. You know, that's
yeah.
So, were you familiar with the term bohunk?
No.
Do you know what that is? I had to go look it up.
Okay.
Bohunk is it's basically an ethnic slur for someone of an Eastern European descent.
Oh.
You know, it's your garden variety ethnic slur, you know, like
okay.
You know.
Oh yeah, let's get into all the racial slurs.
You know,
way to go, white guy.
You know, all that. It's just like you know, it's not.
So you're trying to offend everybody on this episode?
Well, I mean, it's not like he called him a or I mean, it's just like
what? Are you kidding me? Seriously.
Are you going to be okay?
I really don't know right now. Wow.
It is a. Yeah, I had never heard that word before. I never heard that other than this movie. I've never heard that whatsoever. Pretty early on, say that they're not really happy about this.
Yeah.
I mean, it is they're really not. And especially once they meet the family, it's like, oh, what is going on here? This is a trope of this time period of like a new son-in-law that's coming into the family that they're not really happy about, which is like, was there something in the air in the 1980s where it was, oh yeah, we got new people coming into this family that we're not, because I'm trying to think off the top of my head. I guarantee you we're going to get into more of this as we go through we go through the rest of John Hughes' stuff. But even with having like this big family, like this big moment in a family of, hey, there's a wedding.
Yeah.
It still seems like it is just a it seems like it's over here somewhere.
Yeah, it is over there somewhere.
Even though it's supposed to be overshadowing her birthday, it still just kind of feels like it's on the outskirts of everything else. It's a means to an end to get us to where we're going.
Okay.
You get what I'm saying?
Yeah, I get what you're saying, yeah.
And then...
But I also kind of see it as the reason it's off to the side is because Sam is so tied up in her own personal stuff.
Right.
That for her, it is off.
Yeah.
Over.
And, going into the whole, like, when we get the whole... What's her friend's name? I'm trying to remember. She's only in like two or three scenes.
What was her name?
I can't remember. But when they're talking and they're
is it Robin?
It may be when they're in.
Is that
class,
Jimmy Gertz?
No, not Jamie Gertz. It's
who's the?
Jamie Gertz is only in like two scenes during the party.
Is it Caroline Mulford?
It may be. Anyways, her friend, and they're going through all of the They're going through all the stuff, and she's asking her these questions. And again, this is very disjointed in that the
catalyst for this whole thing.
The catalyst is very, it's just like, but they just throw it out there. It's just like, okay, they're talking about this whole thing.
That was more real than anything.
I get that.
A lot of that's, and how many times has somebody
ask you a question,
created some kind of stupid little quiz,
right,
to be passed around, right, you got to answer it.
But the whole, it's an immediate. it's not like most what you would see in most movies. This trope, because it is usually if there's some piece of damning evidence, to carry things along, it will happen somewhere down the line. Like it's kind of like a slow burn. This happens immediately.
Yeah.
They're sitting in class, the whole thing. She goes to pass it back to her friend. It drops on the floor. Jake sees it, picks it up, and then he's reading it later, and then he starts asking about her.
Okay, her name was Randy. She's played by Leanne Curtis.
That's it. So it's one of those things that immediately we're into that, and then he starts asking different people about her.
Yeah.
Something else I also forgot, because it's been a long time. I forgot about the shower scene in this movie. I was like, oh, look. Oh, yeah, naked person. Yeah, because this is the 80s, of course. I forgot about this.
Because I had seen it once.
When it wasn't on, like, Up All Night or something like that.
Yeah, USA Up All Night or TBS. Of course, all that stuff gets edited out.
Every bit of it, I know. But, it was just kind of one of those, like, boobies. Okay.
So it was like... it was a full-on.
It was actually
full shot.
It was, it really was.
But it was like, I don't remember some of this stuff in this movie, and I had to think about it. I was like, it's because generally when I saw it was in reruns in syndication,
right? Exactly,
Up All Night or TBS,
exactly. And I mean, honestly, it didn't really add a whole lot to the movie.
No, it didn't.
Really did not in the slightest.
It was gratuitous.
It very much. But again, it's the 1980s, and that's what you would get a lot of. It's an R-rated movie, teen comedy. There's going to be some nudity, there's going to be sex stuff, there's going to be whatever.
Yeah. There's
also going to be breaking the fourth wall, like Anthony Michael Hall does later. He just looks straight at the camera, like, it's getting good now. Yeah. And there's also, I don't know. It's just. I don't think this movie really picks up until they get to the dance. Honestly,
no, it doesn't.
That's once they finally get to the dance, it starts steamrolling to where we're supposed to be.
And what's really funny is really the most interesting character in the whole movie is Farmer Ted.
It really is,
because he's kind of the main. He's like the thread throughout the whole thing that pulls the thing together.
Yeah, and that's the whole. When they get to the dance, and he walks. He goes. He had talked to her on the bus earlier. Was trying to hit on her. And he's like, so you come to the dance? She's like, no, maybe it's none of your business. And then when she shows up, he goes over and starts dancing, trying to dance with her. And that's also that, when he goes over, starts talking to his friends, that the stupid bet comes in.
After she runs off crying.
Right. And then they
get away from it.
Yeah, and he basically makes the bet that he's going to have sex with her before the night's over.
Yeah.
And... again, another trope of the era, this type of stuff. And then the fact they get to talking when he finds her.
Out in the auto shop.
I tell you what, the scene in the auto shop makes me laugh. Like both times I watched this.
Yeah.
Because the fact of like you see it coming when he walks in and he leans against that rack and everything falls, and it's just like, oh my god!
Honestly, the scene in the auto shop is really the best scene.
It really is in a lot of ways.
It's about the most honest feeling scene in the whole movie.
Right. And then, but it's not just that. It's like it's that whole awkward, like, oh, obviously this is going to fall, but then he like kind of cleans it up a little bit.
Tries,
and then he goes and he gets to get into the car, which doesn't have a back seat or anything. It's just
doesn't
all
have
open.
a back of a car.
I know. And he goes around and he tries to open the door and he can't open the door because it's locked. And she has to reach over. And it's just like. It's like a comedy of errors in this one scene of
it's not like this car has windows.
No, he could have just like jumped right in without any problems. But,
Yeah.
and it's just like the fact that he goes through all of the, I'm going to go around. Okay, I'm going to open the door. I'm going to close the door. It's just like,
yeah.
A lesser director would not have pulled it off the way that this happened. So even with this being kind of disjointed and a little jumpy at times, some of those shots, that okay, this is somebody who is a capable director who is going to make this is going to be better.
He's just kind of trying to figure it out.
Right. And then the whole scene with them talking and he's still, and the thing is with Ted is that he's still trying to put out this persona.
Yeah.
And we also forgot that Jake had talked to him previously and trying to get some information about Sam. And so it was kind of that thing that whenever they actually talk and he's like, oh, Jake, yeah, no, he's my boy. He's, he's like, yeah, whatever. And like, no, he's really into you and that kind of stuff. And so that's kind of again, pushes everything forward. I'll tell you where this movie, for me, falls apart is when they get to the party.
Yeah.
It really, first off, his girlfriend is, I wind up hating the character by the time it's over.
I think you're supposed to.
Yeah, but I mean, it's just, and then her friends are even worse.
Oh yeah.
I mean, they cut her hair. I mean, it's just like, it's terrible. I mean, it's just God, I hate everybody here.
It was that typical, preppy or prepper,
Oh, definitely preppy back then. Yeah.
Preppy high school party where everybody's
affluent. Exactly. He's got a Ferrari? Is that what he's driving?
No, he's driving a Porsche.
He's driving a Porsche. That's right. And then his dad's got a Rolls Royce, which he just willy nilly, here, take my dad's Rolls Royce.
Yeah.
Which is really funny because Ted's like, the grill on these things costs $5,000. Yeah. It's just like, that's nothing now.
Yeah. I wish my grill
I
cost
paid more than that
$5,000
for my car. It's like right now. It's like, but yeah, it's just. It's really funny that whole situation and
but that's not just any Porsche. That's a 944.
Oh, well, yeah,
that's the turbo version.
Yeah, it's a really nice one for the time. But again, it kind of goes back to the whole Shermer, Illinois. Of it all. This is where we were first.
Just outside of Chicago.
Yeah, this is where we're first, and this becomes a trope in a lot of things. Not just in John Hughes movies. I mean, because you look at we covered Risky Business.
Yeah,
it was. Not Shermer, obviously, because it doesn't exist, but it was just outside of Chicago. Adventures in Babysitting happens just outside of Chicago.
Yeah.
There was something in the 80s about
Chicago.
If we're going to do something that's not set in New York or L.A., it's going to be outside of Chicago.
Well, because Chicago was quote-unquote Midwestern. It was the middle of the country.
Right. Yeah.
Whatever.
It is.
Oh.
Well, I mean, it is in the middle of the country, but it's not the middle of the country like that we know what the middle of the country is. It's like you would have done that in Lincoln, Nebraska or something if you really wanted the middle of the country.
That might have been more entertaining.
Yeah,
actually.
All these suburban Chicago kids.
Yeah,
they all fit a type in every single one of these movies.
Yep.
And
you're really kind of spacing out. Except for when you went on your filth tirade. Really disappointed in you.
Well, you've known me long enough. You should have been disappointed in me a long time ago.
Not angry. I'm just really, really disappointed.
All right, Dad. There's another disjointed scene of something needs to be here.
Okay.
The next day.
During the wedding?
After
the wedding.
When Jake pulls up and finds Ted and what is the girlfriend's name again? Anyways, finds them out, and it's one of those things that they start talking. Him and his girl start talking, and he says something to the point of, "I wish I hadn't gotten you mixed up with that guy," or something, And it's like, did something? I mean, because they were buds previous to this, and he acted, and really truly the way that Jake just kind of like pushed her off on him, go ahead, have fun, do whatever, and then all of a sudden he's remorseful. Seems like, and it's like, you set this entire thing up. This was kind of you. There's also another, like when Sam's friend calls her the next day and says, "My brother paid $1 to see your panties last night."
Yeah.
That there's no payoff to that whatsoever. Like, yeah, she kind of screams or whatever, but it's like there's no payoff to it. It's just kind of a scene that's thrown in there for no reason whatsoever.
Yeah.
And I understand that movies change over time, the way that we do things. And it's true. We have covered a ton of movies on here that, looking back, hindsight being 20/20 and all, you're like, oh, they could have done more with this. They could have cleaned this up. They could have, sanded the edges off a little bit, maybe done another punch up on that script and made it a little more cohesive, whatever. But I'm always amazed at like how many movies are like that are kind of like clustered together in time. And it's kind of the same thing when you go back and look at and watch like old movies, like what we would consider old movies, from before we were born. And a lot of, the acting styles and stuff are completely different from anything you would see today.
Yeah.
And I don't even think there's anything necessarily wrong with acting in this one. I have some thoughts on another movie we're going to cover here really, really soon.
Yeah. Okay. No, that Caroline Mumford. That was Jake Ryan's blonde girlfriend.
Caroline is her name?
Caroline Mumford.
Okay. So, but again, she is used like more as a prop than anything at all here. And so
because she's just a prop to occupy his time.
Yeah, pretty much.
Sorry, REM reference.
Yeah, well, I don't know. How did you feel about this movie overall? On what's our scale? We still doing tokens?
I think we've always done showbiz tokens just to drive a certain other podcaster crazy.
Yeah. So what's your showbiz tokens on this one?
Probably like a 2.5.
Okay, let's do this.
Okay.
We're gonna do a 2-tiered score on this.
Okay.
Going on all of these, we're gonna do a 2-tiered score.
Okay.
We're gonna do our nostalgia score.
Okay.
We'll do our real life what we actually think about it in the year of our Lord 2026, and then we're going to do a nostalgia score. Basically meaning that you say it was 2.5. That's your note, but like through your nostalgia lens, what does this get?
Probably about the same.
Really?
Yeah. This one doesn't really hit me in the nostalgia like some of the other movies we're going to watch.
Fair enough.
You can tell it's one of his early ones.
Yes.
You can definitely tell it's his first time directing.
Right.
You can feel. And in some of the other movies we're going to talk about, you can see where he goes back and looks at this one and goes, I could have done that better. Mm-hmm. And he revamps it and puts it in another one of his films.
Okay.
You can see that happen 2 or 3 different times.
Right.
So while, it hits in that nostalgia timeline, for me, if I'm going to go back and watch a movie for the nostalgia, I'm probably not going for this one.
Okay. Fair enough. I would give it in my 2026 review, I'd probably give it about 2.5 the same.
Yeah, okay.
My nostalgia, though, I'm probably going to give it about a 4 out of, because I really did love this movie.
Really?
At a certain time in my life.
Okay.
Teenage years, that time in the 80s,
Yeah.
like again, I saw it, of course, Molly Ringwald was cute, and all that stuff.
If you're basing it just off of Farmer Ted, probably about a 3.
Yeah.
Because I really like the Farmer Ted character. I think I think that character is very redeemable, and that character could have been really something kind of special, which I think he definitely takes Farmer Ted qualities and puts them into other characters that he does.
Yes, and we will get into that because we're going to have more Anthony Michael Hall as well as Molly Ringwald.
Yeah.
And those two characters those two actors are going to pop up multiple times.
Yep.
Yeah. Overall, I enjoyed going back and rewatching this. It wasn't quite the fun trip I was expecting it to be.
Yeah.
yeah, so I'm hoping that as we go down this list of what did we decide? We got 18 movies? Is that right? 1, 2, 3.
Gosh, 18.
Yep, we have 18 movies to cover.
Oh my goodness.
So we're down one, so we only got 17 more to go.
I'm already tired. I need a nap.
Already, yeah, we've had a long day today already.
Yeah.
So yeah, 16 Candles. I'm sure that those of you who are actually listening to us,
All two of you.
that we still have as listeners.
Thanks, Brody.
I'm sure that you guys are, have your own nostalgic view on this, and we've probably made somebody mad.
Yeah, you think?
You'll be all right. Yeah, so, that's 16 Candles. Oh, you know what? We need to make a list here of stuff to... as we're doing this, we're going to make a list. I think I said it in our preview episode of the John Hughes stuff. We need to keep a list of the actors and how often. Now, we got Molly Ringwald.
Hold on, I got to pull up the whole list again.
Nah, we really don't. And Anthony Michael Hall. We've got John Cusack and Joan Cusack. I'm trying to think if there's anyone else in. Oh, what was the grandmother's name in this?
Hold on.
The name of the woman.
I'm trying to get back to it.
Honestly, this is probably gonna be one of those things when after we do the next movie, we're gonna have to do some cross coming back. Who appeared and what and when and why.
I think we're going to see Michael Schofling,
Mm-hmm.
the guy who plays Jake Ryan. I think we see him again at
think
some
so?
point. I think so.
I don't think he does.
I feel like we do.
He may. You never know. I definitely know we're going to see Molly Ringwald, Anthony Michael Hall.
Which grandma did you want? You've got.
Is it the dad's grandma? Which one did Long Duck Dong come through with? It was that set of grandparents.
I don't know.
Because the woman that plays the grandma she's been in a bunch of stuff.
Here are the four grandparents. You had Edward Andrews as Howard Baker. Okay, so Long Duck Dong came through with the Bakers.
Okay, so the grandmother.
Yes. So that's Billy Bird.
Billy Bird, that's right.
But Carol, I think we see Carol Cook again too.
We might see the dad again.
Jim Baker, that's Paul Dooley.
Paul Dooley.
Yeah.
All right. I guarantee
you need to write down Brian Doyle Murray.
Oh yeah,
Bill's brother, because
yeah.
John Hughes loved using Brian Doyle Murray.
That's right. I forgot he was in this. Yeah. That's a definite.
Yeah.
I say we're not going to see Zelda anymore, and I don't think we see Jamie Gertz anymore after this.
We'll just have to cross-reference.
We will. We'll go back. By the time we hit our stride on this, we'll have a nice, hey, this person. Oh yeah, look, there's so and so. Blah blah blah.
Yeah.
I think a lot of this me being disjointed today is because I've already had way too much coffee, and it's just something about I hit a tipping point with coffee where it's just like, and nothing good's happening now. So
I can make a reference, but I won't.
Yeah. So, so that's our review of 16 Candles. We promise that our next episode will be better.
I'm not promising anything. with you over there controlling the board, this could be an absolute nightmare from here on out.
It very well could be.
Like it hasn't been already.
So, 16 Candles, like I said, John Hughes' directing debut. We discussed that he had written some stuff prior to this, the two vacation movies and a few other things. But this is our jumping off point of this is where John Hughes begins for us.
Yeah.
And of course we get the whole Shermer, Illinois thing, and we're going to see it again in the next episode, which is going to be The Breakfast Club. Waiting for you to say it. I was also waiting for the person who actually lived in Illinois to jump on me for saying Illinois instead of Illinois.
Just because I live there doesn't mean I necessarily claim it.
All right, fair enough. So next episode we're going to hit The Breakfast Club, a Gen X classic. And
how many times have we covered this movie now? Is this going to be the third?
We've never covered it before.
Are you sure?
Positive. We talked about it because of our bracket a few years ago, but we never covered the movie. And it wasn't in our bracket; it was in a different one.
No.
And so we never did. And when we did our retro summer, we did not do that movie.
I feel like
matter of fact, none of the movies that are on this list, we have not covered any of these previously.
Really?
None of them.
I feel like we've done Breakfast Club. This will be like our third time.
We've never done Breakfast Club. We haven't done Pretty in Pink, Weird Science, Ferris Bueller, any of them. There is. I think we talked about Christmas Vacation on one of our Christmas episodes, but it wasn't.
Because
just about that movie. It was about different, a bunch of different. And I know that a certain scene in Home Alone's come up quite a bit. But other than that, and yes, I meant that as the double entendre that it is. So,
Ziggy, I swear, if you keep doing this, I'm going to wrap you up in my arms and not let you go, and you're not going to like that either.
You're going to love her and hug her and squeeze her and call her George.
Call her George. Yep. I'm about to call you George, Ziggy.
Yeah, she is a needy dog. I don't know what her deal is. So, yeah, guys, make sure and go check out all of our socials. It's all there, and we'll kind of get back on social media a little bit. I really do need to get back on our Instagram and start promoting stuff again.
Yeah,
but we haven't done anything really in a year-ish. So
we're kind of back.
We're back. We're back for a while for
at least
18, and we're also
just go ahead and call it an even 20 because we've got some other.
We
stuff
have two other things. Ariel's coming back. Matter of fact, we're going to record with her here next week, and have an episode. As we're recording it's next week. That episode will probably come out before this one, so it's
maybe
because we haven't released anything yet.
Well, that and
just in general, because this is as disjointed as we've talked about the movie being. This podcast has definitely been about that disjointed as well.
Yep.
So yeah, for the Project Gen X podcast, I am Alan Smith.
I'm the other guy, Big Dave,
and don't you forget about me.